Hello everybody, this is Frony to Bobbin here, and welcome back to Real Racing 3, sort of, and today we'll be continuing on with the Daytona 500. We're on to stage number 6 for today. Alright, stage number 6, the tension builds. Second half starting, so keep your eyes focused on the track. I'll keep you up to date on anything happening around you. Alright, getting straight into it. So there are 5 goals today. Now, the plan is that, Actually, so I'm going to try to do all the goals. Yeah, let's just go. Alright, plans will come later. You're going to have to maintain a higher speed than you've been pulling. Use the draft from the cars behind you to maintain first place, but with an average speed of 186 miles an hour. That shouldn't be too much of a challenge. Let's see, the recommended PR is going up, so if I can't complete a goal, I will be buying an upgrade, because I'll need the upgrade for the career series anyway. So I might as well just get it. Alright, finish first with an average speed of 186 miles per hour or 299 kilometers per hour. I'll be starting at first. Well, Danica Patrick in third. I think in the first stage he was in first for some gold, and then all the realistic guys somehow fell to the back. Alright, so we have pole position, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. will be starting on the outside. So the best thing to do is the cars, they drive really hard. You would think that they wouldn't drive so hard because this is a restricted play track, but since this is a special event, these other drivers, they drive extra hard and they really try to take you out. So the best thing to do is to stay in the middle lane, and then if the outside lane or the inside lane is coming up behind you, then go in front of them to block them. As you see, the outside lane led by Danica Patrick was trying to go around me, and I kind of went on the outside. But then try to go to the inside as quick as possible before it's too late. Otherwise, you'll be stuck on the outside, and then the inside will pass you, and then you will unlikely get the win. And if the outside lane just decides to pass you, then just push them up to the outside, and then they'll slow down. And the inside lane, just stay in front of them and make sure they don't overtake you. And don't go too far to the outside, or else they will pull up from underneath, and then you won't be able to get back to the inside lane, and then it'll be impossible to finish in first. So, make sure you stay in first the whole time. If you let anyone pass, it'll be impossible to pass them again, especially that this race is only 2 laps. So I really want to show this goal because of how challenging it is for not just me. I actually had to try this goal a few times. Like, I was going onto the inside or the outside, and I would get pitted by one of the other drivers because they came up in front of them. Alright, so I got an average speed of 195 miles an hour. 9 miles an hour over the goal. Off-track penalty. I don't remember going off-track. Whatever. This game is kind of mixed up. So here's a bit of an error. Yeah, that's Tony Stewart in the number 14, who finished in 4th. But Tony Stewart never drove the 14 in the Daytona 500. The 14 was driven by, something Vickers. I forget his first name. Brian Vickers, yeah. Tony Stewart injured his back, so he didn't get to participate in the Daytona 500. And it would be his last one in his NASCAR career, because he is retiring after the 2016 season, which is this year. Alright, so what do we have for the next goal? I don't know why the track is at nighttime, because the Daytona 500 runs during the day. You've got the lead, but as soon as they catch wind off your tail, they'll overtake you. You know what that means? Avoidance. Keep them off you for as long as you can by getting less than 17 seconds of draft through these few laps. Well, that shouldn't be too hard. Well, it might be hard, but that depends. So, is this goal going to be shower? If we're loaded in, then it's going to be a shower. If we just come back here, then it's not going to be a shower. Yep, we're strapped in, so let's go. So Denny Hamlin is on the outside lane, but the position that you want to defend is on the inside. So the thing about this is that you want to go to as far to the inside lane as you can. Just don't go into the apron, otherwise you'll be slowed down, but go as far into the apron as you can, but not enough to slow your car down. Just go on the yellow line. Just ride with the outside tires on the yellow line, and you should be okay. And this, I don't know how this happened here. You see that? It was a bit of a disaster. There. Hang on, let's go into the, let's rewind and go into the stuff. Right. So, wow, did you see that? So Denny Hamlin went to the field and slowed up the field. The only people that didn't get slowed up was Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Danica Patrick. So I'll only be showing you the first lap. And that's it. However, so the best thing to do is I actually got 16 seconds of draft from this goal. So the best thing to do is to try to cause a wreck to slow up the field behind you, and then get out as far as you can, and you should be okay. Alright, I completed the goal. Not sure how I did that, not sure how that wreck happened, and I kept the lead. That was a bit of a risky move for me. And I don't even know how I did that. And I don't think I'll be able to do it again. But I'll have to do it 3 more times if I want to win the Joe Gibbs Racing, the Team Penske, and the Stewart Haas Racing ones. That's going to be interesting. Obviously, I won't be showing the obviously, I won't be showing the other 3 because they'll be exactly the same format. So, yeah. Take advantage of your opponents by drafting. Receive a speed boost by sticking bumper to bumper. That's exactly what you want to do when it comes to this sort of racing here at restrictor plate racing tracks. Alright. It looks like you're going to need to form a drafting train. Otherwise, you'll never keep up. Finish in at least 10th place whilst drafting the same driver for at least 2,800 yards. What? So you want me to give up the lead? That's a bit silly. I was pulling out in the lead, you know? Oh, looks like I'll have to give up the lead for this goal. But it should be a simple one. Well, looks like the PR is in the red. So it looks like I want to stay behind by 2 PR, and if a goal is too hard, then I'll pay for it by gold. So what we have to do is finish in at least 10th whilst drafting one opponent for at least 2,800 yards. And I'll be starting in 3rd, okay. Well, I don't know if this goal is going to be a shower. Unlikely, because stuff. So I know I said that this goal wasn't going to be a shower, but I want to show you some of the highlights from this goal, because there was some stuff. So I was drafting behind Brad Keselowski. Then he messes up. I try to keep the draft, but then that happens, and I lose the draft. Then there's a bit of a mix-up. So then Kevin Harvick gets ahead of me, so I use Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kurt Busch is that. And then they push me into Harvick. Then I eventually catch up to Harvick, and I draft him for the 2,700 yards. And actually, yeah. Once I was done, he went to the outside, and he just came up down on me, and that's what happened to him. Sadly. And then, Dale Earnhardt Jr. pushes me for the entire 2nd lap. And this is like a recreation of the finish from the Daytona 500, except for 3rd place. Watch this. Dale Earnhardt Jr. tries to pass me on the outside. Then, see that? I pushed Dale Earnhardt Jr. to the outside for 3rd. You see that? That's what Martin Truex Jr. should have done, and that would have gotten him the win in the Daytona 500. But he didn't think he'd had to. So that's how Denny Hamlin got the win. Alright, so this part 1 is getting a bit long, so now I'm going to put the car on a service, and I'll come back later to do the, sometimes called the Great American Race or the Super Bowl of stock car racing. The Daytona 500 is considered the most important and prestigious race on the NASCAR calendar. Actually, what was I saying before about finishing? So we're on goal number 4 or 5. Seems like something's rallying around in there. Maybe we picked up some small debris, or caught some bad air from the draft train. No matter, we've got to pit soon. So, just push through for now, and try to climb first. Alrighty. So now my car is fully serviced. PR rating is a little bit behind, but that's okay. We can work with that. This one is just finishing first. Alright, I can do that. Where am I starting from, actually? Oh, not too far down. Probably in 10th or 15th, or I don't really know. Let's give this one a shot. Well, this is a bit problematic. I failed the goal. I came fourth. So, car's running out of service. I'll have to fix that later. Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to buy a couple upgrades. So let's see, how much is, You know what, I'll need this for the career series anyway, so I might as well just buy some gold upgrades. So I'm gonna get this. 198, I'll leave those for later. I'm not gonna buy them now, not really much point. An exhaust, 60, nope, you're too expensive. Let's see, how about engine? God, all these upgrades are so expensive. Drivetrain, 65. Suspension. Come on. You know what? I'm just gonna have to buy another upgrade on the body. Let's see, it's gonna take 12 hours, so I'm gonna speed that up, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, the car is now up to 51.2. I didn't actually wait 12 hours for the upgrade to complete. I actually watched a bunch of advertisements to speed up the thingy, and I didn't pay any gold either, so hopefully this is the only upgrade that I'll need, because I'm up to 13 upgrades out of 27 of them. And the recommended PR is 52.0. So let's try this goal again, shall we? Well, even though I haven't actually showed you the first time, I'm just going to show you the time that I'm actually successful. Like, hopefully this time here. This time is the charm. I can feel it. I've tried this goal for about 10 times. Constantly getting into a wreck where I just can't keep up with the front pack. But I feel that this one is going to be the charm. So I've had to pay for these two upgrades. Wow, looks like it's making quite a difference. I'm getting the runoff for these turns. I'm still have the run on the straightaway. Alright. Wow. They're kind of slowing down to going into the corner. I'm a bit surprised at doing that. I was expecting that they were just going to drive fast, but it seems that if you break them up, if you break up the draft, then they'll be slower. So the best thing to do when it comes to these situations, especially at restrictor plate tracks, is to break up the draft, and then you should be fine. Like, well, look at this. Jimmy Johnson can hardly catch up to Kevin Harvick, so I could get a clean lead. I'm surprised. So my car is probably going to be in need of a service after this goal. That's okay, because I can always use the advertisements to skip it. Then I'll come back and do the final goal, whatever that is. So this race is 3 laps. I'm just going to show you the first 2. Because, unexpectedly, right? Boy, did those 2 upgrades make a difference. I did not expect that. But it made a big difference. So it seems that it seems that an upgrade that costs 36 gold and $190,000 can make a pretty big difference. I did not expect that. I thought it was going to be the similar result, and I would have to end up skipping the goal. But no, I got some extra luck. So it looks like it was worth buying those upgrades. Normally I don't do that because they're so expensive. So I imagine my car is probably going to be in need of a service. Yep. Alright. Don't worry. I can use this to skip the wait time. Not the entire wait time. Well, yeah, hopefully the entire wait time. It's just going to take more than once. But it should be okay, because if I can do that upgrade, then I could do this car. So what's going to be the final goal for stage number 6? We've made a quick pit stop to fix the issue, and I was right. It was some dang plastic caught up in the fan belt. It's clear, and luckily we have Casey Kane in the pits as well to get a boost. Join him and try to get back into first place. All right. So I'm gonna do a skipping stuff, and I'll see you when this is done. Alright, so I've serviced the car with the advertisements. Let's hope that Casey Kane can actually let us catch up with him. Because you know what happened in the Federated Auto Parts 400. Or do you? Where was that? It was an impossible goal. He just drove away. Hopefully it's not that same thing in this one. And this one is just to finish first. I guess it's just a suggestion to use Casey Kane as your drafting partner, but really all you need is skill. Where am I in? Oh, I'm in the top 6. This should be easy. Not. So we're starting in 6th place for this one. And I've had to try this goal many times. This is like my 10th attempt or something. And hopefully this one is the charm. Oh man. It's the thing with these restricted play tracks, they're just so... Everyone drives so crazily that there's most likely to be a massive wreck. Because all the cars are just on their toes. And they feel like it's going to be a wreck. Yeah, on the toes, if you know what I mean. You have that feeling that there's going to be a massive wreck. That's the thing at these restricted play tracks, especially Daytona. Because Daytona isn't as wide as Talladega, so you have that feeling that there's going to be a wreck. Alright, so I just need to find my way around Kevin Harvick and Brad Keselowski. Let's see. So at this point, I was doing about 212 miles an hour. That's a lot of speed. 212 miles an hour. And at a high speed, it's really... And at a high speed, in the middle of the pack, it's really hard to drive on Daytona. Because the AIs are just all over the place. Which makes you go all over the place. Because you're constantly blocking the traffic that comes up from behind you. That's the tricky part. And trying to stay in the draft train is hard too, because you have these drivers behind you, but you also have these drivers ahead of you. But in this case, it's just Brad Keselowski ahead of me, and Kevin Harvick and a bunch of other people behind me just pushing me so hard. Sometimes they overdo it, and it can end up in disaster. Alright, I'm now in the lead, but I still have a few laps to go. So if I can hold off Kevin Harvick for the remaining laps, I should be okay. Let's go into blimp view for a little while. Yeah, look at that. Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, Danica Patrick, Danny Hamlin, Ryan Newman, all these realistic drivers just giving me that boost. Because me on the Hendrick team, Frony to Bobbin, trying to go for my first Daytona 500 win. In the virtual world, obviously. This obviously is in real life, but it's crazy to me. Look at that. Oh, and there's number 367. I think his name was Carpenter. He's one of the fictional drivers who has the triple-digit numbers and the fictional sponsor. Let's see, how many laps left? Alright. So not really much point continuing on from here, so I'll just leave it to the end. So this part isn't normally risky, but this time it's going to be a bit risky because Ryan Newman is literally right behind me. So can we do this? Yes. Just. Wow. That was close. I tell ya. It takes a lot of practice to complete these goals. And it took me many tries to complete this goal. It seems when I get near out of service, the goal seems to be easier. I don't understand why that is. Or maybe if you just complete the goal, if you maybe just do the whole, maybe if you just do the goal 100 times, then you'll have some extra luck. And what is Carpenter doing in third? He's one of the fictional drivers. I don't know how he got up there. He was all the way in the back. Strange. Alright, so this stage was a pretty interesting stage. I didn't have to skip any goals, which is the good thing. I just had to buy a couple upgrades. Boy. When I did the Federated Autosports 400, the track was so short, so it was hard to pass. This Daytona stuff is easier because it's just full throttle around the whole thing, so it doesn't really matter of steering and stuff, etc. So coming into stage number 7, I have to skip no goals, just buy a couple upgrades, and then I'm good. So stage 6 complete, so tomorrow is going to be the final stage, and I get 10 gold as the reward. No money, it looks like. You're doing a great job, but we've only got 28 laps left. This is where it really gets difficult, because everyone's aware of how little time they have left to change the outcome. Alright, more goals tomorrow. So tomorrow being the final day of the Daytona 500, hopefully I can complete it. If there might be a slight risk, but I'll talk about that in another video. But guys, that's it for this video, and hope you have enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for the final stage in the Daytona 500 in Real Racing 3.